Abba Kaka, a prominent anti-corruption crusader, has called on President Tinubu to introduce a bill to the National Assembly that would impose death penalty for those convicted of corruption in Nigeria. Though, Kaka argues that while the bill may face resistance due to the involvement of some lawmakers in corrupt practices, straining key agencies like EFCC, ICPC, and the police is crucial in tackling the growing wave of corruption in the country. As public concerns over corruption continue to rise, we hit the streets to ask Nigerians what they think about the bold proposal and whether harsher penalties could be the answer of Nigerians' corruption crisis.
Do you know how much he's going to pay to his or our fellow lawmakers to be able to pass this bill? These are acts of corruption. And then the biggest corruption we have is not even the politicians. The civil servants are the one teaching the politicians how to be corrupt, because they have been there for 35 years. So they know the in and out of government. They know how to move files, they know how to forge files, they know how to do a lot of things. So even you as an appointed minister from the private sector, if you come in, they are the one to tell you, oh God, this is how it has been done. This is how it has been done. This is how it has been done for you to make your money. And these are corrupt practices.
I think anyone found of corruption and China, they are sentenced to death. We can as well do the same thing, so as to, put the people in the position they belong, so that they'll be awakened to the situation that they are mere servants of the government. They are not masters. But in a situation where anybody wants to go into politics because he wants to pack government money to put the people into a mess, just the same way we are in now, is very, very uncalled for. And I think if there is any law, any legislation in order to checkmate that situation, it's not a bad one.
I support, but for the issue of the another area, it can come back to poor people, because the rich people, even though they do corruption or they do whatever, they can cover themselves. We that we are poor, our children is going to suffer for it.
I say it will not work. It will not work for the high people. Now the low people it will work for. The low academic now they work for. It cannot work for all those high people.
One, China got over their problems because of that particular introduction of death penalty for corruption. China was worse than Nigeria, but because of that death penalty for corruption, that's why they got things right. And today, everybody have to sit tight. So that's why in China today, nothing like corruption again, because they know the implication.
Because the way they are taking Nigeria to now, they take us to back forward. Nigeria youth have a future. They work hard for them to get their compliments of a goal. Of course, they cannot be able to meet up. When you look at a graduate on the street now, because he doesn't have anybody to support or to help him on the street, they will not even care. They believe on themselves, their children, their wife, and the latest car and the new house for them to buy.
But the reason why I said I support is that when all these things that is happening, is not our fault. It's the condition of the country. But at DV, somebody has what to do. All those things cannot happen like that. But just that say there is no work. Even when you are working, there is no money to pay salary. Over how many months now they have not paid yet? That's why I run from my work. I'm a security from one pharmacy. So they didn't pay us. That's why I begin to do motor work. Even the motor work say passengers doesn't have money to even pay.
To me, it's not really an issue. The laws are there. Even the anti-corruption agencies, ICPC, what do we call it, EFCC, within the corruption agencies, their staff, in quote, are all of them saints? So it's the system that we need to look into, that will give them, even the people supposed to prevent corruption are not being corrupt in their own case. So the system needs to be looked into. Already the law is there, but we need to look at the system so that we can have it once and for all and get things right.
The proposal for this bill shouldn't waste time. It should pass first and second reading, and at the third reading should be passed into law, and the president should sign it into law. I believe it's a welcome development. If we don't do this, people will not be held responsible for their actions, and they will not be serious. So for government to work, this is the type of bill that we need, so that everybody will tighten up.